Hey everyone, welcome to our garden. It's the 1st of July today. It's a beautiful summer's morning, but we're in the shaded bit of the garden here, thankfully. I mentioned in the last video that I was going to try and get in front of the camera and just do a few sort of how-to masterclass videos. Now luckily I've managed to get my lovely wife Nikki to film today, so I thought the first thing that we'd start with is leeks. A little bit different to the way that you plant those vegetables out. Leeks are a brilliant crop because you plant these now and these will just sit in the ground through the winter. You don't have to harvest and store them, you can just keep them in the ground until you need them. So I always like growing leeks. There's a couple of ways that you could do them. So these were sown back in late April, early May, that kind of time, and I always like to choose a nice deep pot so that we've got a good root run there. You could, if you wanted to, multi-sow these, and you could put 4 or 5 seeds in a module and you could just plant them out and grow them in clumps. The leeks don't get as big, but if you don't want massive leeks, that's absolutely fine. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the old school method, and this is normally how I plant my leeks out. So we're looking for two things really with leeks. We're looking for them to get to a decent size, and also when you buy them in the shops, you get the white part at the bottom and you get the green part at the top. What we're looking for is to get as much of that white area, so as much of the leek blanched as we possibly can. So that'll all make more sense as I go through the video. So I'm just going to show you what we do. You see the leeks there, they're all round about pencil thickness. Some of them a little bit thinner, but this is about right. I didn't thin these out or anything, I just sowed these in the pot. Try not to sow them too thickly. And then the first thing that we're going to do with these, and this probably seems really brutal, if we can get these out the pot, and you can actually see you've got these really nice deep root runs. So what we do is we separate these out. Now again, it looks fairly brutal, just try and be as careful as you can. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for the thicker leeks ideally, and we're also looking for ones that have got a good root run. Okay, so that's basically what we're looking at, a leek plant. And I'm just going to give that a swish in the water there. We're going to pop it in the bowl. Now I'm growing 10 leeks this year. I've grown more in past years, but not everybody in our family really eats them. I love them, but not everybody does, so we're going to pick 10 of these. I'm not going to do them all now. I'm just going to do a couple to show you. So separate through your leeks. You can tease the roots apart. It doesn't matter if you break the odd root. In fact, if anything, it does stimulate growth. And the other advantage sometimes as well, because we're going to trim these roots anyway, is that will encourage root growth. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to trim these down. Now you don't actually have to do this. When I first started growing leeks, my first few years I didn't bother, but what I did find is that it has two advantages. We trim the root off because it just makes them a lot easier to plant, and you'll see what I mean by that in a moment. And also we take about a third off the top growth, and you'll see the reason for that as well. So do them both together, quick snip. So we've got about 2 to 3 inches of root left, and we're going to take the top third. So that's what we're left with. There are our 2 leeks. So we're going to pop over to the bed. Now you can see I've already done some holes here. So what we do with leeks, instead of planting them in the way that we normally would, we're actually boring some holes in the ground, and then we're just dropping the leeks in. So anything like the back of a rake, anything along those kind of lines. I'm looking for about 6 to 8 inches, so I want to be around this kind of mark somewhere. Now it helps if the ground isn't bone dry when you do this, because otherwise the soil will all just fall in. But you can see as I take that out, the hole stays where it is. Same on the other side. Okay, so the idea with a hole is, I was talking a little bit earlier about us wanting the white part of the leek to be as big as possible. and the key to that is stopping the light from getting to it. So the way that we plant these is we drop them into the hole, and when I said earlier about trimming the roots, this would be so much more difficult if I had a 6-7 inch long root on this, but I don't. So I can pop that straight in all the way, just like that. Same with that one. And what that will do is that will just ensure that the blanched part, the white part of the leek, is as big as we can possibly get it. And then the only thing that we do, we don't fill that in with soil or anything like that. We take a watering can, which you would think I had this prepared already, and we're just going to fill the hole. Some soil will drop down into the hole, that's absolutely fine. That'll just cover the roots up, and that's it. That is literally all we do. So I won't do them all on camera. I think that probably gives you a fairly good idea if you are planting out leeks. If you decide next year that you want to grow leeks and you've not done them this year, then we'll do a video on that and we'll go through the whole process and we'll do this again. The only thing I'll do now is I'll plant the rest of these out. I'm going to put a net over these. It's not always necessary, but what I found one year is I planted all my leeks of an evening, came out the next morning, and for some reason the birds had all pulled them out the ground and just left them lying around. I don't know if they thought they were worms or anything. Fortunately we had spares, but what I tend to do now is I tend to just put a bit of netting over this just for a couple of weeks until the roots get established, and then they'll be absolutely fine. And we'll just leave those. We just leave those to grow through the winter. They'll probably be ready to harvest from around about mid to late November, or we can continue to harvest those right through the winter, basically into spring, until they're all done. So that's today's masterclass, planting leeks. Thanks for watching. I'll probably do another video soon at some point, but until then, look after yourselves, take care, bye for now.